We're right. Hello, world. Warmest welcome to the 40th episode of Inspiring Millions Show. This is the show where we celebrate brilliant minds from around the world who share with us their story, one story at a time. Ready to drive your way to success? Today, our featured guest is Dato Dr. Ang Bon Beng, and he will share his drive and success story with us in a short while. Thank you for joining us live or on replay. I'm Viva Andrada O'Flynn, your host and Global Media Relations of World Humanitarian Drive. World Humanitarian Drive, also known as WHD, is an international NGO founded in Croydon, UK, by British Indian global peace activist, entrepreneur, writer, Dr. Abdul Basit Saeed. The primary vision of WHD is to promote peace, education, and trade harmony initiatives globally among everyone across the world, regardless of race, gender, religion, or nationality, living as one family. WHD is striving for humanity. This Inspiring Millions show is your show. As always, we encourage you to engage and interact with us. Please help us spread inspiration to the world by sharing this link. Put your questions that you would like to ask our guest, Dato Dr. Ang Bon Beng, greetings or comments that you have for us in the chat box. We would love to read them later on in the show. Let us also know where you are watching this. Wherever you are in the world, let us keep you company and brighten your day as we share peace, love, and goodwill. Welcome to November, the month of men's health awareness. Remember the 5th of November. In the UK, it is Bonfire Night or Guy Fawkes Day. In countries practicing Hindu faith, such as Malaysia, having a multicultural society, it is Diwali, a festival of light celebration. Our featured guest, Dato Dr. Ang Bon Beng, is the Executive Director of Edaran Tan Chong Motor, a distributor of Nissan cars in Malaysia. From his humble beginnings, rising through the ranks, he constantly pushes himself to keep learning. He gained PhD and master's degrees from educational institutions in Malaysia, USA, and the UK. With his vast experience, he has many achievements. He is one of the most well-known and respected people in Malaysia's automotive industry today. And we're very honored to have him join us, a very determined and inspiring man with a drive to succeed, Dato Dr. Ang Bon Beng. Welcome. Thank you for being with us here today. How are you today, Dato Dr. Ang Bon Beng?
Yeah, thank you. I'm fine. Thank you, Viva, for all the kind words and compliment. Okay. I would like to actually take this opportunity to wish everybody, all friends throughout the whole world, very healthy and stay safe, in particular during this COVID-19. I think if we take care of ourselves, I think we should be safe and sound. And as we know very well, there's no safe haven in this world. We only have to safeguard ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Before we get started, we would like to thank WHD Malaysia Secretary General, Professor Dato Dr. GP Doraisamy, for making this discussion possible.
Thank you.
So, Dato, could you please briefly share with us about yourself and your background and also your experience as a salesperson in Nissan business?
Thank you. I think first of all, I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to Professor Dato Dr. Doraisamy, the Secretary General of WHD Malaysia chapter, and Dr. Abdul Basit Said, founder, chairman of WHD, for giving me this honor and opportunity to share my thoughts and experiences in tonight's WHD Inspiring Million Show with our most charming and friendly Miss Viva. I also wish to extend my thanks to all WHD leaders and friends from all over the world to support this episode. I wish to say that I'm deeply impressed and highly inspired by the international efforts of WHD in promoting peace, love, education, trade harmony, and humanity. Is indeed a noble drive. Well done, and congratulations to all honorable WHD members. Well, a little bit about myself and my background. I came from a very small village called Kepala Batas in the state of Penang. I think everybody know about Penang. I'm the eldest of 10. I have 5 brothers and 4 sisters. It is a big family. It's a big family. My father was a taxi driver, and my mother is a homemaker. We were considered as very poor, as we did not have our own house. My father's daily income was merely $2 to $3 US money. Being the eldest, I have to complement some income by doing something like distributing newspaper and selling ice creams during school holidays and Sunday. And very often, a biscuit soaked with water or simple white rice would be our dinner. So we seldom had our new clothing for our new year. However, we were a very happy family. Well, like now I would like to share and talk and promote a little bit about my home state, Penang, because it seems many interview the participants actually all from Penang. So also a little bit of my hometown, Kepala Batas. Penang, renowned as the Pearl of the Orient, a state comprises island and the mainland, known as Seberang Perai. But perhaps many people may not know, Seberang Perai last time was called Province Wellesley when it was under British. So Penang is a food capital. So Viva, you must come to Penang. It is a melting pot of cuisine. The rule of thumb is to be adventurous with your tongue whenever you are in Penang. Penang offers many, many hawker foods like char kway teow, laksa, satay. Another known fact of Penang is Penang produces many talents, like the world champion in sports, Dato Nico David, and Dato Lee Chong Wai, the badminton champion, and shoes designer for the late Dinah, Dato Jimmy Chu, and inventor and scientist like Professor Chia Kok Wai, also from Penang. Even our former Deputy Prime Minister, Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim, also came from Penang. And I'm proud to say that my hometown, Kepala Batas, is a small village in Penang mainland, but it's also well known to many people as a great number of powerful and successful individuals also came from this small town, like our former Prime Minister of Malaysia, Tun Abdullah Ahmad Badawi, the former head of Toyota Malaysia, Dato Abdul Halim Harun, even our good friend, Professor Dato Dr. Dorai Sami, is also from this well-known town, Kepala Batas, and plus others are well-known doctors and top executives. After completion my secondary education, I was compelled to look for a job to assist my family. So I started to work as a lorry attendant, thereafter a taxi driver. In my case, being the biggest brother in the family, growing up was not a luxurious affair. It was tough, hard, but fun and joy. This tough and hard experience during my childhood was one way or another train and prepare me with no surprises to accommodate and handle all difficulties and challenges I faced during my sales career. I would like to share a little bit about my previous company, Tan Chong Motor. In 1957, Tan Chong Motor was appointed the franchise holder of Datsun, then Nissan in Malaysia until today. Because in 1984, Datsun brand was completely phased out and completely dropped and replaced by Nissan. So in 1970, Tan Chong Motor wanted to open a sub-branch in Batuas, which is the biggest town in mainland. And I was blessed and recommended by a close friend to join Tan Chong Motor as a junior salesman. Because at that time, to find a job to work in a big company was very, very challenging and very, very tough. And I was then assigned to a town called Bukit Mertajam, which is the distribution center of fish and vegetable from north to south. In short, Bukit Mertajam is a commercial and business town. I started to visit house to house and shop to shop canvassing to know more people and explore for potential customers. I repeated and keep on doing it for many months. Finally, I got few sales. I was so excited and motivated to continue doing the same thing, which had delivered results. And as advised by experienced salesmen, I started to make friends with car brokers, used car dealers, and motorcycle dealers. Finally, every month, I got some additional sales from them. Thereafter, I fully convinced that spend more time and mix with those who are in the same industry related to your job would one way or another assist and complement you in achieving your commitment. I also learned that in order to work effectively and maneuver efficiently in the market, you need to get help from others. So these are the two first basic principles I pick up as a beginner in sales. Then during my sales training, I also came to understand that taking care of customer was a great and sure way to increase and sustain your sales. Thereafter, I applied seriously about customer care and provide good services to customers. My initial small pool of new car customer slowly expand to a few thousand customers after 2 to 3 years. As every customer has 2,000 to 3,000 friends and relatives. So once a customer is happy with your care, with your service, he would or may recommend those friends and relatives as your potential customer, as your potential buyers. I had actually many satisfied customers. They repeated their purchases after 3 to 4 years because during that time, the replacement cycle was about 3 to 4 years. And I also got many referral sales because they recommend, once they are happy, they recommend their friends, their relatives to buy car from me. And a lot of potential customers become my good friends. So the reality of delivery result had inspired and motivated me to further explore in search of more superior and touching services to customer, like attending the funeral, which is maybe a taboo to many people. People talk about funeral, they got a certain concern and worry, At the same time, I also provide 24-hour service, which I will elaborate later. So in today's Inspiring Million show, I must reinforce to maintain that by attending the customer or their family member's funeral is a very touching way to strengthen your relationship with customers. And you will be always remembered for your present. This was the reason why a grandfather who bought a car from me, then the son, the grandson remained as my loyal customer. As told by the grandson, he will never forget and deeply touched by my presence during the grandfather and his father's funeral, and added that I treat them more than a customer, as attending funeral is normally confined to very close friends and relatives only. He even told me Nissan actually was not his first choice, but after a deep thought, he decided to buy Nissan again. So obviously, with this special, strong relationship can even outweigh the preferred product. He liked other brand, but finally he buy Nissan. Another unique strength of my salesmanship was I would commit to provide 24-hour services to every customer. So during every new car delivery, I would stick a small plastic sticker on the windscreen with my name and my phone number for easy reference. This was a very interesting and unforgettable event in my life. One night, a customer called up at around 1 o'clock. I picked up the phone and came to know that his car broke down along the highway. And it was raining, but without hesitation, I asked the customer to wait, and within 1 hour, I arrived. I asked him to take my car. I went back and left the problem to me. But I knew very well nothing could be done at these hours. So I was struggling the whole night in the car with the rain outside. So only the next morning, the car was towed back to workshop for repair. And I was sick for 2 days. When the customer came to know about this, he felt very sorry. He called me and expressed his high appreciation and even wrote a letter to my management to compliment me the excellent services I provided to him during the most difficult hours. And because he is a managing director of a big company, in fact, he's the big boss. He owned the company. So during the meeting, he instructed the purchasing department that all future purchases of new car must be Nissan, and the salesman must be Ang Boon Beng. That's me. He even explained to the management to emulate my way of providing after-sales services to the customer. So collectively, I sold nothing less than 100 units from this company and his dealers and friends. So I concluded that normally customer would reward you more than what you have sacrificed in fulfilling excellent care and services to them. My late father, who was not educated, but he embraced with a good set of good values, a set of good values. He always emphasized and reminded me that honesty, hard work, keep promise, and be prudent will be the key to be a trusted person in the society or in the market. So these are the values I always remember and practice throughout my whole career. Eventually, I realized that I've sold myself with a good reputation of honesty, trust, and delivering good care and excellent services to the customer in the market. Essentially, I've created and built a powerful brand of myself. It's obvious that everybody in the market is a brand, and the brand tells the values and quality of a person. So if you have a bad name, over time, you may not compete well in the market. So please, the values of honesty, don't cheat the customer, keep promise, actually can give you a lot of benefit at the end of the day. As I was aspire to become a more learned person and wish to enrich my thinking and knowledge, also became a more competitive salesperson. Finally, I completed my part-time diploma and advanced diploma within 3 years. Thereafter, I realized that I could write better and communicated much better than before. And I have much more confidence to deal with professional customers like lawyers, doctors, engineers. And these qualifications also allowed me to pursue my MBA in the later year. The whole experience of my salesmanship may sound very simple and very basic, but in reality, it drove me to another level of success.
Thank you for the valuable lessons that you're sharing with us, Dato Dr. Ang Bon Beng. So after 10 years of sales experience, so you have achieved outstanding results in your performance. So in view of this, you were promoted to managerial positions from 1979 to lead a branch, a state, and a region within 10 years. So you have also reached up to the level of a deputy manager in a total of 6 promotions. Could you please share with us your successful stories?
Well, in 1979 was my initial entry into the management era. The management in recognitions of my performance and the length of service and experience. So I was promoted to sales supervisor in 1979 and transferred to the northern state of Malaysia. We call it Kedah, in the north, Kedah, which was a very low performance branch. But within 2 years, the sales was double. And I was promoted again to assistant sales manager, then again to sales manager in the same branch. I was greatly motivated and inspired to accomplish 3 promotions within 4 years. This implied that my sales experience, best practices, management, and human skills were on the right track. Obviously, this was my first success in managing a branch. Essentially, in this branch, I was perceived widely as a super salesman rather than a manager, in view of my hands-on involvement with the customers and the salespersons. So many salesmen also learn and improve their selling skill through this process. In 1982, then I was transferred to Kuching, East Malaysia, to improve the sales performance and change the working attitude of the salespeople. So during the first meeting, I told the branch that I want to become #1 brand in Kuching. But many staff responded with sarcastic laugh. They laughed and a long face expression. As in Kuching, that time was Nissan, had been in the 3rd or 4th place for many, many years. In their mind, my expectation was more than a dream. So what can I do? So I started to recruit a small team of new salespeople, about 5 of them, who have no history about Datsun in the past. I shaped them totally aligned with my direction by instilling them with the right ingredients of success. After seeing the vast improvement in sales, finally, the old staff with the old habit also jump in as a team with the new mindset. So some best fit practices and effective sales experience from Kedah also used to apply in Kuching. Eventually, we see bigger number in performance and the sales number continue to grow month after month. Within 2 years, we achieved the historical high number of sales and we overtook the strongest Japanese brand in Kuching and became #1. Obviously, Kuching branch was a good example of success led to another success. I was glad to learn that some of the salesperson in Kuching leveraged on Datsun's success left the company, ventured into other businesses, and become very successful businessmen. They commended that the experience and the knowledge they acquire from Tan Chong Dasan work very, very well in their other businesses. It's obvious that successful wisdom, principles, and best practices are applicable in any industry. So in 1984, I was sent back to Penang. So within a year, I moved up to another level as a state manager. Then further promoted to a northern regional head in 1990, overseeing 5 states of sales operation. As we continue to win the #1 in customer satisfaction and continue to grow our sales over 5 years. I was then promoted again to Deputy General Manager in 1996. When I was a Deputy General Manager, I started to train and groom some selected top and experienced salesperson who share the same values and wisdom with us to be the future leaders at branch level and the state level. This human development program has in fact complemented greatly in the expansion for Nissan business in Malaysia as well as in Indochina.
It's very fascinating. Thank you so much, Dato Dr. Ang Bon Beng. So after 10 years in sales and another 10 years in sales management, finally you were promoted to handle Nissan business as a top executive. So during your tenure, you continue to deliver excellent results in terms of sales targets, market share, and strong bottom line, as well as regaining strong confidence from Nissan top management. Can you share with us your great experience, please?
Thank you. Well, Tan Chong Motor is owned by 2 brothers. So unfortunately, in 1999, there was a fight between these 2 families, the 2 brothers. So this resulted the resignation of the previous executive director, who actually is the son of one of the brothers. So because of this vacancy, I was finally selected and promoted to take over the post of executive director, which is the head of motor divisions. Well, 10 years in sales and another 10 years as a junior and a middle management certainly provided me a lot of insight and hands-on experience about management, people, market, the best practices, as well as competition and strategic thinking. I knew very well, being the top man in Nissan business in Malaysia, I was no longer sailing in a river with a small boat. It was now in a big ocean. It is borderless. It was no longer to handle a small attack in the market. It was a war now. I had to lead instead of to be led by others. I have to decide the direction for the company and be confronted with unpredictable big storm or huge threats and challenges. And I was heavily responsible for few thousand livelihood of my fellow colleagues. I was required to think more insight, more strategic, more competitive, and more caring to chart my course effectively and efficiently to reach the required and demanded destination with the limited resources I have. As an executive director, I was really reporting to the board of directors, as well as the chairman, who is actually the owner, and the principal, Nissan Japan. The board normally demanded for high bottom line. They want big return, and Nissan Japan would push for higher market shares and customer satisfaction. So these were what I call it high obligation I must fulfill. In short term, 1 year, in mid term, 3 years, and in long term, 5 years. So this was the KPI to determine my future in this company. Obviously, it was a very challenging commitment, but I was confident that the demand was manageable. For ED, this is your package of responsibility. But that was always my mindset. I firmly believe that I'm confident that all previous successes will lead me to another bigger accomplishment. I always read the word impossible into I am possible. Splitting the word, you see the inner meaning of positive meaning. So for the first 3 years, after taking over as a new executive director, Nissan principal gave me a very high commitment, as I was required to shoulder new target plus to recover the huge loss of sales during the family fight, as the previous management spent more time in court rather than in the market. So under my leadership, within 3 years, I shift Nissan up from the 5th place to the 2nd position. Obviously, in the eyes of Nissan, I've done and performed an excellent job. And this had also led me to gain a very strong confidence from Nissan top management. Subsequently, anything I ask, all my requests like yearly introduction of new models, market support, ad hoc assistance were fully accommodated and fulfilled. When I took over as an executive director, I knew that I have to improve certain system, more on people management, more profit sharing concept, and treat my staff as my family members rather than my employee. First of all, we introduced a more transparent and participative management, as well as empowerment in the existing infrastructure. We also established a very tight sales monitoring system, like daily reporting of sales, booking, prospect, and also introduce performance-driven incentive. All branches were instructed to have daily meeting with a salesperson to address sales issue, market changes, competition, come up with countermeasure, as well as customer complaint. So though this constant gathering of discussion had led to close communication, team spirit with harmony, fast decision-making from bottom to the top. So after improving our infrastructure and better control and the introduction of incentive system, we expanded more branches and recruit more experienced salesmen from competitors to have a wider coverage for additional sales. And every year, I would share my mission statement in a sales convention to set the direction for company after taking into account all factors like the market, competition, product, and commitment. And all parties from all levels will be consulted for the final mission statement. This has resulted everybody in the organization have a strong ownership of the mission statement. It doesn't come from only Ang Boon Beng or the executive director. Actually, it contributed by everyone in the organization. So my statement, my mission statement was always very simple, easy to remember and understood, practical and market-driven. Like in 2002, we introduced 2+2. So this is the very summary of my mission statement. 2+2 in 203, 202, 203, power of 1, 204, mission 11, 205, double up, 206, 1123, shift, go and growth until 2013. And Okay, so I must say that in 2013 and beginning of 2014, in view of a succession plan, so I started to spend more time and stay in Indochina, and the new management starting to take over a major part of my responsibility in Malaysia. And my role was then more on consultative basis until end of 2017. So after 2013, the mission statement was not actually highly promoted. Well, it doesn't matter. Let me go back to the mission statement, and I would like to pick a few to explain the whole strategic meaning of each mission statement. So I think Viva, I think the slide is okay now. So I would like to explain my mission statement. In 2002, I introduced the mission statement of 2+2 because in 2002, we have only 2 old products, whereas most of the competitors have 5 to 6 models, in which 1 or 2 maybe will be a new model. So in terms of product, we were relatively behind and uncompetitive. So 2+2 was a strong message to align the mindset of the salespeople to offset, mean to forget the unfavorable situation. So just concentrate to sell 2 units each for each 2.0 model. And this was the constant reminder to the salesperson in the daily meeting. We also provided some professional answer to all salespeople to respond to FAQ, frequently asked questions. Like customer may ask, your model is old, not new like other competitor. But we prepared the answer, and this answer should be responded as yes to the customer. Yes, it is a proven model. We try to avoid to use the old model. Yes, it is a proven model. Over the years, we had rectified and improved this proven model close to 0 defect. And many customers had also confirmed that this proven model was better than a new model they bought from competitors. So we keep on advising the salesman, try to avoid to use the old model and replace by proven model to create positive emotional impact. So initially, some salesperson continue to complain about the issue of old model. Finally, we have no choice. We explained in a meeting that to make them understand that the purpose of company to employ them is to solve his problem. If everything is fine, well, then their presence is actually not required. Okay. Then we also introduce hardship incentive and special incentive to further inspire them to achieve the target of 2+2. There's 4 units for every salesman. They were constantly persuaded and reminded that people power could outweigh the shortfall in product. And also added that a strong and sustainable sales company should be a people-led company and not product-led organization. In many sales meetings, we also share that a professional salesman can sell anything under the sun, even sell comb to a monk. So eventually, with this firm and clear direction, reasonable and acceptable explanation, with the extra incentive and a strong support from management, we again deliver the result slightly beyond the set target. This explains why Vietnamese could defeat America in the Vietnam War with the power of people, not a weapon. So the next mission statement was a power of 1 after 2+2. So in 2003, the same old product remained unchanged without any addition of new model. So in spite of this unfavorable competitive situation, Nissan still insisted to increase the sales target by few thousand. So the strategic meaning of this power of one was to direct every salesperson to sell just 1 unit extra on top of their previous sales. Like previous month, 2 units, this month add 1, 3. So according to our strategic assumption, we only need 50% of a salesperson to sell 1 more unit. Then we should be on target. Apparently, our strategic move was to collect drops of water to form the river, if not ocean. Finally, we saw the power of one, which drove us crazily to achieve around 8,000 units, more than the previous year's record. We again achieved the excellent result in 2003 and surpassed our Nissan sales target. I would also like to share another interesting mission statement in 2009, control the fall. In 2009, we experienced the economic downturn elongated from 2018. However, Nissan kept on pushing us for higher sales as expected. So in 2009, Nissan wanted 5% increase against 2008 target, regardless of the economic downturn. So in 2009, I came up with a strategic mission called Control the Fall. As the total industry volume has been declining since the second half of 2009, logically, all motor firms may face the same problem of having lower sales in 2009. However, my mission statement of Control the Fall was a strategy to instill the staff to think illogically, not logically, illogically. Market down, but Nissan sales must go up by applying Control the Fall. So this message was aggressively communicated and repeated throughout the whole organization. All activities were geared towards this mission, like wearing the t-shirt, printing with a Control the Fall. A slogan with Control the Fall were hung in salesman and meeting room as a strong reminder. Additional overseas incentive was also introduced to further motivate and inspire the salesperson. We also took damage control of the mindset of the salesperson by instilling the antidote into their mind by saying that in 2009, they would face the situation of do more for less, to prepare them mentally in advance that even they work very hard, so many customers, the sales may be small or zero. Essentially, this mental strategic message was to prepare them, influence the salespeople to accept in advance more failure, more defeat during the crisis, and yet continue to work harder to achieve the target. So besides motivate the salespeople with special incentive, we also offer customer buy a Nissan, win a Nissan lucky draw campaign during this difficult time. So I'm glad to say that in spite of the economic downturn, we improved our sales by 20% against 2008 performance. So in 2009, proved to be a bumper harvest. And this was the year I was awarded Carman of the Year. And Tan Chong Nissan also was complimented as the best national sales company in the region by Nissan Japan. And I was invited to share my experience with other Nissan dealers in a Nissan regional meeting. Well, during my management, I would not and never ignore petty area as least important, like greeting to customer with a bow and a smile. All duty salesmen must open door for customer before he walks in and address the customer as sir or madam, and always concluded with thank you. So this is our common SOP for all the salespeople. As you know very well, customer is a king. If you treat him like a king, customer like a king, and other competitors ignore to do so, we would have a higher chance to get the sales. As customer, when he is a customer, his ego is always very high, and you treat him like a king, you have a better chance to close the sales. In the past, these practices were oversight and viewed as too petty without realizing that a small spark would burn a jungle. Even the presidency of China also told his officers that treat people small matter as our big thing. No wonder Chinese people now are so successful and happy. As usual, a sales organization needs strong support for marketing to complement the sales team, to create awareness, excite customer with campaign, extra sales package, and incentive to lure them to the showroom. In short, creating pulling effect. We also achieve, marketing also achieved many firsts, during my time. First to offer buy one, free one. First to invite customer and family to have a test drive in the showroom. And you know very well, the whole test drive, during the test drive, the wife will be treated with a free facial care. Children will be parked into the kid corner with various toys, and the old parents will enjoy a free massage. Moreover, free gift, lucky draw will be also provided. Needless to say, free drink, free food for the whole day, and even with a high tea. So should any customer after test drive place a booking, will be entitled to a lucky draw again, like TV, audio set, healthcare product, plus additional discount. So marketing also organize customer event every year to strengthen our relationship with customer, and also extend our appreciation for those who recommend sales to us. We call it referral sales. So this customer will be given the priority for the event. Normally, it was a free 2 night and 3 days event stay in a resort. As you know very well that every motor firm will launch a model every 2 to 3 years. So the diminishing effect will set in. That means the sale will come down after 1 year. And more so in the subsequent year, second year more, third year more. So to address this issue, we came up with a strategy of local facelift or mock-up to dress up our aging model to look fresh and new. We again, the first company to engage a motor racing modification company called Impal to realize this strategic move. Many business magazine and newspaper also commented that in view of my dynamic leadership, strong image, and reputation and the popularity in the auto industry, I have in fact elevated the brand power of Nissan. Perhaps this may be the job of an executive director. As such, Nissan was widely known and became more popular in the market. And subsequently, Nissan is always in the shopping list of many customers. I also advocate strongly to adopt a bottom-up, not the top-down management. A top-down management has always lack of real and inside knowledge about the competition, market, and human problem and the challenges. So many information they got from their subordinate sometimes were filtered or distorted just to match their taste. So this also explains why America lost the war in Korea, as his general monitored the war in the war room, but the general of the enemy did it in the field. So in view of the limitation, I could only share some details on certain strategic area or department which complement to the success of my management. But I must also mention that other departments like human resource department, plant, workshop, product planning, PDI, which actually also contribute to my to our outstanding achievement over the years.
Thank you so much, Dato. And then, so we're really inspired by all the things that you're sharing. And then we also have comments from our virtual audience. So Nang is saying, it feels like a TC sales conference. So excited. And Ken Chi is saying, it feels like sales conference like those days, motivation and positive energy. So keep them coming. And then, so we have a question from our virtual audience. Is it okay if we ask them? We have a question from Tonggi Gra. He's saying, thank you for sharing your great experience in customer service. It is very inspiring and many should take example on this. As we know that the car industry is affecting the environment, what is your opinion on the direction that car companies should take in order to make ecology a priority?
Meaning what? Can you repeat, because maybe my sound system here not so good.
Yeah. So he's asking about what is your opinion on the direction that car companies should take about to make ecology a priority. I guess it's about environment, cars.
Oh, environment.
Yeah, for the environment. It's like,
of course, I think as you know very well that I think global warming is a great issue. I think as actually mentioned by many world leaders. So I think every country is trying to actually how to come up with a response to this big issue that actually will actually not only cause damage now, also the future generations. So I think as a result, I think they also have agreed that especially in Europe, that I think in 2040 or something like that, they have to come up with a emission vehicle that's an EV or hybrid. Currently it's hybrid. So you must understand this. This is the issue where it will be realized sooner or later. But I think the fact is everybody must play their part. But it also depends on the development of every country. Like Europe, they may implement EV in the shortest period. Developing country, maybe they have to adopt hybrid, then later evolve into EV, electric vehicle, which is zero emission. Hybrid still have certain degrees, certain percentage of carbon dioxide. So currently the ICE is the current engine where produce a lot of carbon dioxide. But even though I think all the manufacturer will advise to cut down, to make the engine, to downsize the engine to be more efficient in combustion to reduce the carbon dioxide. So basically you can see the evolution of this motor industry, in particular the vehicle, the type of vehicle. You can see the evolution will be the current one, where have a big percentage of carbon dioxide, then to hybrid, after that to EV. But I think it will take a while. It depends on the development of the country. I fully advocate strongly that I think we should actually enforce it. But unfortunately, it also depends very much on the political wishes of every government. It needs to have a strong support, the same political view, consistent with the objective, feeling which I think the individual car company or the manufacturer can't do much. So I don't know whether I'm answering your question. I don't know. But in short, I think this will be realized, but the time may not be so soon. It will take stages. We call it in Malaysia, like for instance, in Malaysia, we try to introduce EEV, engine efficient vehicle, which will cut down the carbon dioxide. At the same time, also introduce the hybrid to reduce the carbon dioxide. and to reduce the air pollution. Then EV actually was also introduced many, many years by Nissan, but unfortunately, because of the infrastructure, we do not have a complete infrastructure. So this actually had actually slowed down, decelerate the popularity of EV. But hybrid, I think, is catching up. You can see it's improving, expanding year after year. But I think in Europe, America, even in China, I think they are actually implementing aggressively to change it, to evolve it into a more greener engine to actually to help to protect the environment.
Thank you, Dato Dr. Ang. And then I'm looking through the comments of our virtual audience. Kath Lai is saying, you have many diehard fans here from TC. And then Eric Ho is saying, motivation recharged. And then Win has a question. Did you have a time you were able to sell to a difficult client? So what did you do to get the sale? Difficult clients are hard to sell to. So I guess we just want to know.
Are you talking about customer? Or...
Yeah, difficult client, difficult customer. Like, how do you get the sale?
But we must accept that in this market, there are some top customer. We have to accept, But of course, if you have a professional salespeople, you could actually tackle those top customer. And selling is not true by selling product. Actually, you should build the relationship that you can solve a very tough customer. Let me tell you one story about my one professional salesman in Tanchong. This customer used to buy other brand, and he just ignore other brand. Don't talk to me, Nissan or what. I only want to use the Japanese brand. So you cannot keep on persuade him through salesmanship, through presentation, showing the product. He won't, because in his mind, it's not the product. It's already inside, quite difficult to change. But you have to adopt other strategy, human relationship strategy. So the salesman started to make friends with him, try to say hello to him with not the intention to sell him a car. So they make friends, they build up relationships. So after a while, customer face some problems, salesman try to help and show a lot of sincerity, helping. They build the foundation not as a customer and a salesman, as a good friend. From friend become good friend, then become brother. So if your brother want to buy car, they will not buy other brand if he knows that the brother is selling a new car. Certainly he will buy from the good friend, the buddy. So what I'm trying to say, to break the barrier of a difficult customer, there are multiple ways. But to me, to build the relationship, you have to take some time. You have to allow some time. After all, if you go directly, you won't be able to close a sale also. If you may take 1 year, 6 months, then finally, no, only one car. The moment you can break the barrier, the moment you buy your car, one car, it can become 2, 3, 4. Like just now, I already explained. Every customer has 2,000 to 3,000 friends and relatives. One, he's happy with the service. He's happy with your after sales service. He treats you like a good friend, like a brother. His friend and relative is yours. So this one I'm trying to, hopefully I respond to your question correctly.
Thank you so much. Nang Andy is selling with a heart. That's what you're doing, selling with a heart. Yeah. So being a very busy executive director and you're managing a few thousand people, you're competing in a very dynamic and competitive market. And there's a demand for high sales, high bottom line without the first degree in law, yet you could still be able to complete your second master degree in law. So can you please just share with us your interesting experience?
At my level, as an executive director, I used to deal with a lot of agreement and contracts, especially we are in the midst of venturing into Indo-China. And I was compelled to sign many documents with the local authority, as well as appointment of dealers in the region, the Indo-China region. Though we have appointed some legal teams to assist us in the document sign, I feel it is much better, safer, and more comfortable if I was equipped with the legal knowledge. So with these strong thoughts, coupled with the mind of enriching myself to keep pace with the market changes, market demand, finally, I decided to study part-time Master of Law in the International Islamic University of Malaysia, which is a very popular local law university. Initially, I faced problem with admitting into this university, as I did not have my first degree in law, LLB. But after consideration of my qualifications and long experience in the corporate world, the law center gave me the green light to join the class. However, some lecturers still concerned that I may face difficulties in completing my degree in view of my limited time and lack of legal background. For the initial few months, it was really a nightmare for me. It was exactly matched with what the lecturer had said. I was facing huge challenges in the class. I was lost, to be frank to you. After a few months in the class, I started to think of a strategic solution because you know very well, marketing people always come up with a strategy. So I identified a few smart students with the intention of forming a study group, which was finally materialized. And we started to meet and review our study in one of our meeting rooms in my office. So most of the members of the study group, I already studied carefully, had legal background, either a practicing lawyer or a legal advisor in the corporate world. And fortunately, I could share some unique strategic view and business talk in the study group as a small contribution to the group. In fact, I have greatly leveraged on the study group and their practical legal knowledge. They were actually more than a tuition lecturers. Moreover, whenever I miss the classes, they will assist me to record the lectures and provide me with a summary to update me on the area I missed. Finally, I completed within 2 years at the age of 60 as the oldest student among the classmates. Many people were always curious to ask me, being a very busy executive director without legal background, how could I find time to study the law and completed successfully within 2 years? I always respond with this simple and common answer. The time you wasted and did nothing, you put them together collectively, it was enough to complete the study. And if you were surrounded by the right people, you may turn left to right. Later, I also found that all my part-time degree I have accomplished actually added value and strength on my extension, my service. In fact, I was supposed to retire at the age of 55 according to the law, but I was extended for another 15 years to work until at the age of 70.
Thank you so much. It's so fascinating hearing your story. And then so we have comments from Joanne Kang saying, work hard plus work hard. Work hard. excellent. And then Keith Yo is saying, blessed to have a chance to listen to your exciting storyline and inspiring words. Dato Dr. Ang, you were conferred with the most prestigious award in the auto industry in Malaysia as Car Man of the Year in 2009. Can you share with us something about this award?
Yeah, well, I was overly honored and excited about this prestigious award. So basically, to what I know, the panel were actually looking at the various achievement and contribution by the head of each brand in Malaysia, like Toyota, Honda, Nissan, Mercedes, or BMW. So in the area of auto industry, and providing relevant information in the market, outlook in short term and long term. Also matters relating to export expansion in the regional market, and also involving in formulating taxes and duty as well as auto policy, and also look at the performance of the company he's heading, as well as the general comments from the public and the relationship with press and the members of the media. So I'm glad to say that I have sustained as one of the most active vice president of Malaysia Automotive Association for many, many terms until I retire. MAA, the short form of Malaysia Auto Association, was established in 1960, and most of the motor traders are the members of this association, like Toyota, Nissan, Honda, Mercedes, BMW, So his main purpose is to discuss issues relating to the auto industry and the government policy. So the committee were elected every year among the members of the auto industry. So among the committee, I was the longest serving head of auto division, and I'm the most experienced in the auto sales in the country. And normally, this Malaysian Auto Association will be consulted and discussed prior to any changes in auto taxes or policy, like the national auto policy. So being the vice president of MAA in charge of policy, I was compelled to play an active part during the meeting and discussion with the Ministry of International Trade and Industry. At the same time, I also appear frequently in TV, newspaper, to share my outlook for the industry and its future challenges. The information will be used by financial institutions and various sectors for business planning. Virtually, auto sector has perceived as an important economic indicator in Malaysia. And I was commonly acknowledged as Taikong of the industry. The word Taikong may be strange to many people. What is Taikong? Taikong is the top expert among the fishermen. Normally, a fleet of fishermen will engage him, bring him to the middle of the sea to identify and ascertain which area of the sea and what type of fish under the seawater. Virtually, he can see through the water with certain depth. Coupled with the reflection of the seawater, he could be able to tell you exactly the place and the type of fish, how many fish under the sea. And more often than not, the accuracy is close to 100%. But of course, that time was without technology. Now people can use technology to identify this matter. Then every auto journalist from each newspaper and the members of the media frequently need to gather information and outlook from the auto industry to publish in their newspaper and media to inform the public periodically. As such, they always need to interview the head of the motor firm about their view and the outlook of the auto industry to support or strengthen their articles. I was always most willing to entertain them by sharing my view and forecast about the outlook. In return, they always reciprocate with a lot of mileage in terms of free and more appearance of our product in the newspaper and TV, as well as in the auto magazine. I was highly perceived and named as the most friendly and approachable ED by the journalists and the members of the media. Every year, we also organize a couple of media gatherings during festive celebration like Chinese New Year, Malay Hari Raya, Puasa, Deepawali, to build stronger relationship with the members of the media, as I strongly acknowledge and believe that a pen is more powerful than a sword. My company, as a result, my company relatively spent the least expenses among the motor firm in TV and newspaper. Why? Because we had been enjoying frequent wide exposure about a Nissan brand and his product in view of my frequent interview by the press and appearance in TV. Another thing is the sales of Nissan Malaysia has been declining during the family fight. It was a known fact that Nissan Malaysia might lose his franchise if the performance or the sales continue to deteriorate now. So since I took over as an executive director in 2002 till 2013, I have the excellent record of achieving all times performance without fail, as well as gaining strong confidence and relationship with Nissan principal. And because of this, Tan Chong was then offered the opportunity to venture into Indo-China market. Eventually, we took control of Nissan business in Laos, Cambodia, followed by Vietnam, then Myanmar. As I said before, at the end of 2013 and beginning of 2014, there was a slight change in management in view of the succession plan. So during this time, my role was as a member of the top management team, slowly stepping down and complementing as an advisory role in Malaysia Nissan business. So I started to focus more and spend more time in the Indo-China, which was a new market for Tan Chong Motor. As mentioned by the press, under the current leaderships and effective management of Nissan business in Malaysia, Tan Chong was the first auto company in Malaysia to set up plant and operate business, motor business in the whole Indo-China. Actually, we are the biggest dealers in terms of dealership in Nissan. And moreover, I was quoted by the biggest English newspaper, Stardate. Ang, that's me, who is one of the most well-known and respected person in the local automotive industry today. Essentially, these are the various contributions and achievements that complement my reward as a car man of the year in 2009. Inherited with this success and coupled with a continuous contribution in the auto industry, I was also named as one of the 10 successful person profiled by Area Automotive in Malaysia in 2013.
You really have the drive to succeed. As I'm going to read through our comments from our virtual audience, Jason Gan is saying, Dato, you have always been our idol and mentor to all of us. And Tach Bong, who is saying, thank you for exciting lesson and excellent motivation, Dato Dr. Ang. And we have a question from Kang Hin Lee. Hi, Dato Dr. Ang, very inspiring sharing. Do you plan to return to MLY automotive industry?
Can you don't mind to repeat?
Yeah. Do you plan to return to MLY automotive industry? You're being asked.
Oh, I still don't catch the.
Oh, okay. So let's just go to the next
Okay.
question. Dato
Okay.
Dr. Ang, according to your experience, which is the most basic? Is it wisdom and an influence that can inspire and motivate a person to continue to drive towards a destination in any given situation?
Perhaps I think the gentleman who asked the question may get the answer from my subsequent presentation. Well, I think there are multiple ways to be successful in life. You may follow many wisdom, concept, principle, the best practices, and other economic theory to teach you to accomplish your dream or to realize your goal. 20 years maneuvering in a highly competitive and toxic environment, knowing the weaknesses and the strength of an individual, in particular, the salesperson. Finally, I distill out the most simple, practical, powerful, yet workable, basic principle of success. It is summarized into 4 simple words. Viva, can you please just show them, perhaps they can have an easy understanding. The 4 words: believe, commit, do, and deliver. So simple. So simple. So let me explain the strategic meaning of each word. Believe is not the ordinary belief. I call it Obama belief. I think everybody knows Obama, the previous US president. So during the graduation day, the teacher asked one of the students, the classmate, Peter, what's your ambition? Peter said, sir, I want to become a doctor. Yeah, your biology is good. You can. So John, what is your ambition? I want to become an engineer. Yeah, your maths is very good. I think no problem for you. Came to Obama. Then Obama said, I believe I could become the president of America. So the teacher got shocked and angry and told Obama, don't play the fool. Tell me, what is your ambition? Sir, I believe I can become the president of America. So this strong belief led him to become the first Black president in the history of America. This type of belief I'm talking about. So the next word is called commit. A strong promise of fulfillment to yourself. Not only to yourself, your loved one, your company, your country, regardless of any challenges or difficulties. Like Obama, there's no way he could become the first Black president of America in history without his diamond commitment. A diamond commitment. A diamond is regarded as strongest and hardest to break. This is what I'm talking about, the commitment. Do. Keep on doing. Do. And never give up. As said by our professor, Dato Doraisamy, in his previous interview. He said, never give up. And you must do. Like the spirit of Thomas Edison, who never give up after failing 999 times and only succeeded in the 10,000 times for inventing the light bulb. This is what I'm trying to say, the do, never give up. Then finally is deliver, completed with achieving target or set goal in reality, like Obama, keep on moving until he became the US president. So in a Nissan business, this powerful wisdom widely adopted by the salespeople, had actually driven and turned many salespersons into warriors and become millionaire. So that's another related joke. Not joke, is actually a real story which I would like to share with you. When I was an executive director with the title of Dato and Doctor, so one day I went back to Penang one day, and I certainly met with an old colleague. Both of us were salesmen in Dato branch. So he looked at me and say, I really don't believe you are a Dato doctor and the top man in Nissan. I responded with a smile and touch on his shoulders in order not to make him feel uncomfortable and reply, I am a Dato Dr. Ang, the top man in Nissan. Your old friends since 30 years ago now stand in front of you. It's not a dream. But he said, I still cannot believe. I still cannot believe. It was so sad to know that there are many people do not possess the importance of believing himself and others. So it is no surprise that my old friend, who remained as a salesman for 30 years without much achievement. Thank you. I already answered my questions.
Yeah, thank you. So we have so many comments coming in. So people saying that they believe that you're a great leader. And then, so Elvis Lim is asking Dato how to handle the cross-culture differences.
I think it's the same thing because culture doesn't actually dilute doesn't dilute or change the meaning of the wisdom or the best principle in life. So I think I did it in Vietnam. I did it in Myanmar, the same thing. But the only challenges is we can't speak the same language, but if we get a good interpreter, they can actually reproduce almost the same meaning to them. But I think the most important is through your body action, through your emotion, through the way you demonstrate to them, finally they understand. They understand. And I don't see there's any issue or any challenges with the cross culture. I think every race or every nationality adopt the same principle, the same best practices, and they will get the same result. So I don't see there's any problem. If you have any challenge, I don't mind to go to your country and share with my experience with them. You just interpret as an interpreter for me. I think no issue.
Dato Dr. Ang, so besides the great wisdom of believe, commit, do, and deliver, what additional factor that influences that would enhance, complement, and strengthen the sure success of an individual?
Well, I think motivation. Motivation is the booster that involves biologically, emotional, social, and cognitive forces that activate behavior, mindset in ensuring that so much was achieved. Well, people are always motivated, then demotivated in this highly competitive and toxic internal and external environment. However, with the principle of belief, commit, do, and deliver, coupled with motivation, will surely break the walls of any obstacles, challenges in achieving goals and results. But I always refine and add value to this word motivation. I enhance and strengthen the motivation to heartivation. Can you show heartivation? You can see heartivation, heart, instead of M-O-T-I, I change to A-T-I. Hati in our national language, Malay, hati means heart, heart, heart. No, you do it more from heart, driven from the heart. And you do it for the love and driven by the heart. So I changed the word motivation to heartivation. As motivation, according to my experience, it does not last long. The spirit of excitement fade off after some defeat, some failure, or the toxic influences. It needs to have an invisible yet powerful element to keep on burning the strong desire. That's love, which comes from the heart. That's why I call it heart, hati, which form the antidote, that can immune to all bad elements, influences, failure, and defeat faced by the individual, and yet continue to drive him to the expected destination. And moreover, motivation can only deliver maximum 100% output, whereas motivation has no limit, because hati, meaning heart, associated with love, love has no limitation. For instance, I give you a simple example. For instance, motivation is just like you give a donation to a kidney patient, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000. It is quantitative, but you may not donate your kidney to him. Am I right? But the wife, husband, the parents, or the children may donate their kidney for their loved one. So hopefully you see the difference of motivation versus motivation. So once the person desire to do their best for their loved one, finally, this will lead them to optimize their effort. Work hard with heart. Just now someone talking about this. Work hard with heart. Work hard is not sufficient. Work hard with heart to deliver the extraordinary result. So work hard and work hard with heart may have a different outcome, different meaning.
That's very inspiring. Work hard with heart.
Yeah,
so
from the heart.
Yeah, from the heart. So besides your successes in business, do you have any other accomplishments that you would like to share with us?
Well, during some corporate gathering, I learned that many of the young rich group, I always want to find out why they suddenly become so rich. Then I found out that they actually inherited with their ancestor property, which make them super rich. As their property in terms of land, houses has appreciated a few hundred times after 20 years, 30 years. So because the property were bought during their grandfather or father's time. So I started to advise and convince my staff, my top salespeople, to invest in advance shop, houses, and property, in particular the farmland, which is quite cheap and more affordable. So before I retire, some salesmen told me that the value of the shop, houses, and land they bought 10 or 15 years ago had actually appreciated by many, many times. So I was so pleased to be complimented that my thought beyond work have shown that I'm not only a great leader in Nissan business, but also with a caring heart of thinking and planning for their better tomorrow and their next generations like a father. So during my tenure, I also have created many persons to become millionaire. Few examples like Kuala Lumpur, Kenny Low, Ipoh, Stephen Uy, Batus, Jeff Chua, all these people, now they are millionaire. As 40% of salesperson earn around 200,000 per year. 200,000 per year. Ringgit, 200,000. So you calculate after 5 years is 1 million. After 6 years is 1.6 million. So they became millionaire. Indirectly, this also have resulted a few thousand happy family members. So I always treasure these successes are my happiest accomplishment in life. I also am glad to say that after my retirement, everywhere I go, I still welcome and respected like a senior for coffee and meal gathering. And as of today, there are 40, 50 invitations waiting for me to have a coffee with me. So beside business, I also got involved in some social and charitable work. I was the former chairman of Unclan Association for more than 10 years. So during my tenure as a chairman, my biggest accomplishment was to raise funds to build a 3-story of Ang Association. So since 1999, I have been holding the post of State Chairman of Social Welfare Council, looking after the old folks home, which house homeless and lonely old men with the age of above 60. And we take care of them until the end of life. All are free of charge. So since the last 15 years, the home has been evolving into a clean, healthy place for the inmates. We also built new canteen, new hall, and even the smelly and old toilet were replaced and extended. So over the years, we have been awarded many times as the most outstanding old folks home in the country in terms of efficient caring for the inmates, dedicated management, clean environment, and compliance with the set rules and regulations. And the dedicated team of volunteers, the ex-teachers, ex-headmaster, businessmen, have been taking turn, sacrificing their family time to manage the home. So the total expenses was mainly supported by the public donation and a small subsidy from the government. We are blessed that we have honest and trustworthy committee members to run the home all the while. Hopefully, this would elongate for the next decade. And after retirement from Nissan, I was offered as an adjunct professor in Dato University to share my experiences and success with the young students. And most of the time, they also surprised to learn that in the real world, things happen pretty much different from the book, of course. I always share that in the real world, there are about 10 or 15% of people who are only successful. As failure is given free, it's very easy to get to fail. And success is highly paid. You have to pay for the price. And I used to advise them, just do the best for today, and tomorrow will take care of them. I was so glad to say that the public at large has always commended that I have achieved a noble and meaningful life. As beside business, I've also devoted some space and time for education, peace, love, and humanity. I hope I'm close in achieving self-actualization. I also must not forget to take this opportunity to mention that my wife, my children, who have gone through the whole journey with me, have been always standing behind me in providing love, moral support, advice, assistance, and inspiration. I must not forget to mention that a special young man who was 20 plus, graduated with distinction in business degree, joined Tan Chong Motor in 2003 as a salesman in Nissan business, had actually inspired and motivated his colleague and I to relook into the more competitive way of managing sales. He's none other than my late son, Ang Chi Yi, or they call him Roy So Ang, who passed away in a car accident in 2009. Last but not least, I must always remember and grateful to my late father, who instilled me with the invaluable values, and the late founder of Tan Chong Motor, Tan Sri Tan Yet Fo, who engaged me, and the present chairman, Dato Tan Heng Chew, who brought me to this corporate world. These are the three gentlemen had shaped, developed, and built as what I am today.
Thank you so much, Dato Dr. Ang. You're inspiring our viewers. We have so many comments right now. Dr. Suhani Mendonça is saying, work hard with heart to deliver with extraordinary result. Ken Chia is saying, hativation. Today I have learned a new term. Will share this to my people if I have the chance to lead a team in my career. So thank you so much, Dato Dr. Ang. So in summary, what are the wisdom, successful principles, best practices, and managerial theories that you want to share with us?
Well, I think in summary, I still go back to my basic principle, believe, commit, do, and deliver. Finish. This is a very simple, practical wisdom that can make people successful and control the fall and be illogical during crisis. A lot of people during downtime, they become millionaire. A lot of people during good time, they go bankrupt. So this will explain, you control the situation. Basically, control the fall is to control the situation and think illogically. And like what I say, never ignore the small petty areas. That's why I say small spark would burn a jungle, and work hard with heart. That is the most, I think you can get the optimization of a result by working hard with heart. And motivation instead of motivation, you incorporated love. You do it for your loved one. That will actually excite you all the time, regardless of any challenges or difficulties. Then finally, I always say, go back to basic. Today, what I share with you, a very basic principle, nothing very fantastic, nothing very fantastic.
That was really inspiring. And thank you so much for all the things that you shared with us. Thank you so much for honoring us with your presence, sharing your drive, your words of wisdom, and inspiring the world with your story. In honor of international recognition for your virtue and persistently serving and inspiring humanity with your noble deeds, World Humanitarian Drive would like to award you Dato Dr. Beng with Inspiring Humanitarian Award. Congratulations, Dato Dr. Ang Bon Beng. This honor, thank you so much. You are very inspiring, and thank you for your humanitarian works, and here's to many more.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And then also congratulations, Dato Dr. Ang Bon Beng, Executive Director of Tan Chong Motor Group, Malaysia.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we would like to share a quotation by your special guest, Dato Dr. Ang Bon Beng. Here's the quotation.
Don't worry, in life there's always...
Yes, thank you so much. It's been very inspiring. And we still have so many comments from our virtual audience. And then, is it showing? Okay, our quotation from Dato Dr. Ang Bon Beng, which is very inspiring. Okay, thank you so much. And then, so we still have a lot more comments coming in. Okay, our quotation from Dato Dr. Ang Bon Beng is, "It gives me satisfaction to be able to improve the lives of others. People's most common lament is that they wish they could turn back the clock so that they won't repeat the mistakes of their past and be where they are today. They should always make the best of their time and not waste it doing unproductive things." Thank you so much for that very inspiring quote.
Okay.
Yes, and so we hope you enjoyed today's discussion with Dato Dr. Ang Bon Beng, that it motivated you to put into practice the principles you learned today and have the drive to succeed. Here on Inspiring Millions Show, we present you with brilliant people from around the world, so feel free to connect with them on social media, and together, let's make a difference in the world. If today's discussion inspired you, please like it, share it, send us a comment. Do share with us your takeaways from today. Follow us on our social media accounts. Click subscribe on our YouTube channel, WHD Media. Visit our WHD website, that's whd.org.uk, for more inspiring events. Everyone stay safe and healthy. These are times we should strengthen our bodies, minds, emotions, and our faith. Please remember to have compassion, be kind to yourself, others, and our planet. To our frontliners, we salute you. We thank you for your hard work, sacrifices, and dedication to humanity. WHD would like to wish you and your family a sparkling Diwali and Bandi Chor Divas. May the divine light of Diwali illuminate your life with joy, love, peace, and prosperity. Have a wonderful festival celebration. Our best wishes to all. WHD would like to greet all those celebrating their birthdays today. I've seen in the comments, Girly Villanueva, Clarice de la Costa, Marisa Houston, Raymond Padilla, and those celebrating their special milestones this week. Happy celebrations. Have a wonderful weekend. On behalf of WHD team, especially those working behind the scenes, WHD Chairman Dr. Abdul Basit Saeed, WHD Director of Global Operations, Ms. Sarah Wilson, WHD's 12 Honorable Secretary Generals. We thank you, our virtual audience from around the world, for joining us and supporting our show. This has been World Humanitarian Drive's Inspiring Millions Show. I'm Viva Andrada O'Flynn. Please join us again next Friday. We will have a discussion with Dato Bindi Rajasegaran of Malaysia as we inspire the world here on Inspiring Millions Show.